Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? Mr. Matt here with Mr. Matt's 5 Minutes of Finance, where we help you along on your journey to financial freedom, 5 minutes at a time. Today, I want to answer a question from one of our viewers, Shamika. Thank you for submitting this question. Which is better, renting or buying? The short answer is, it depends. It depends on a lot of things. Of course, there are the numbers, and we like talking about the numbers on Mr. Matt's 5 Minutes of Finance, and I will address the numbers today, but I also want all of the viewers to recognize that in addition to the numbers and finances associated with home ownership, there's also an emotional component. Just like a woman who has a purse, there are some women who rather have a name brand purse to carry their $4 around in as opposed to just a $10 purse. So if you're the person that likes to have a Coach bag or that other bag, I think it's called, okay, you like having that because it makes you feel good, then you'll pay 10 times the amount of what a regular bag would cost because it makes you happy. So understand that for some people, owning a home brings so much joy that the difference in what the numbers are in terms of whether or not it makes sense may play into this as well. So it's an emotional decision as well as a financial one. But let's go ahead and break down the numbers, some things you want to consider when renting versus buying. Longevity, I would say, is one of the first things. Did you just have a child, or you want your child to be in a good school district and you're planning to be in the house for 15 years until that kid gets out of high school? Then that's a case for owning the home. You just got a job, graduated from college, you're moving to a city that you never lived in before, you don't know how you're going to like that city. This is a place that screams rent first and get to know the market, get to know the place, get to know the job, for example. So longevity, how long are you going to be in the place? I would say 5 years is a good number to start at. When we're talking about owning, if you think you're going to be there for at least 5 years, that'll give you an opportunity to recoup those closing costs on both ends, the buying and the selling of that place. Think about 5% of your costs are going to go towards closing costs. Then we want to break down some of those actual costs associated with home ownership. Is there an HOA? Are there property taxes in your state? Some states don't have real estate taxes. Does the state you live in have them, and how high are they? There are some states like New York or in Illinois, these have high property taxes, and so the equation might be a little different when we're talking about a place that has high taxes versus low taxes. Your opportunity cost. Let's say you're going to put $35,000 down on a place. If that $35,000 were, instead of being socked into the equity in your home, were put into the equity of the stock market and earning 5 to 7% return on investment every year, which one of those is going to be better? Then the other thing that you want to think about in terms of this owning versus renting is, how are you? Are you a type of person that enjoys doing things like cutting the grass? Are you the type of person that enjoys fixing things around the house? Or for every little thing that happens, are you going to have to call somebody and then run up that trip charge from a person just coming out to check things out, where the part might cost $4.87, but the fee may cost $150 to have that repair done? So if you're into those types of things, if you like cutting grass, if you like painting, if you like doing those types of things, then the home ownership is going to be a better thing for you. But if that is going to be a thing that you're going to dread and you're going to have to pay every month or every year to have these things done, well, that's something to consider as well. And then let's look at the numbers just purely, because there's this formula that I read from a blog post by J.L. Collins at jlcollinsnh.com if you want to look this up. And I'm not sure if the formula came from him or he got it from somewhere, but he essentially said take your rent cost, multiply that by 110, and that will give you the over-under in terms of what the value of the house should be for that community. So let's say the rent where we're talking about is $1,000 per month. You multiply that 1,000 by 110, that's $110,000. If you can buy a house for cheaper than $110,000 in that particular community, then it might make sense to buy a house. But if a house costs more than that $110,000, then the rent cost appears to be the better option. So that's a simple formula you can do. Take that rent, multiply that rent cost by 110, and then see what that amount is. And if you can buy a house for less than that in that community, then it might be better to buy a house in that community. But don't forget to take into account some of those other costs that we mentioned earlier. It's a big decision, but let the numbers help to guide you. This has been Mr. Matt with Mr. Matt's 5 Minutes of Finance. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe. Take care of yourselves and your financial future.